All right, hello Quesnel and welcome to Q Today. I'm Allison Duddy.
And I'm Mitch Vick, and this is our show for May the 7th.
Great to have you back, Mitch. It's been
you.
a little while.
Too long.
Yeah.
But we're back.
Awesome. All right, our top stories from The Observer, NDP leader Adrian Dix campaigns in Quesnel, and another Skyfest report.
And this is our special election edition of Q Today, so stay tuned for messages from the three candidates in the May 14th election. It's very close, and it's going to be very exciting.
Awesome. All right, here at Q Today, we bring you the recent news from the Quesnel Caribou Observer, and we also bring you our own stories from the community. So let's get right to the news with Mitch.
Thanks, Allison. Here's the front page photo in the Observer last week. Pictured are Duncan Barnett, MLA candidate, Adrian Dix, leader of the NDP, with Michael Von Hahn of Silvergrow, who gave the politicians a tour of his facility. Dix announced his party's forestry plans, which included doubling the amount of seedlings planted over 5 years, and investment in skills training, improve forestry health, supporting industry-led efforts to expand global markets, and reducing raw log exports. He said, change for the better means saying yes to replanting and using BC logs for BC jobs. Liberal Coralee Oakes commented on the visit. They're stealing our platform, she said. Independent MLA Bob Simpson said the issue lies with an overall assessment of the forest industry. At the time of this taping, there was no announcement of other leaders coming into our riding. And coming up, you will have a chance to hear from the candidates themselves.
Look forward to that. Should be good. All right, the Caribou Fire Center and Wildfire Management is reminding the public of its open burning prohibition, which was put into effect on April the 15th. The prohibition bans all backyard and industrial burning, including waste, slash, stubble, and grass. Campfires are still permitted, but must be kept under a 1/2 meter by 1/2 meter in size, and the usual precautions must be taken, such as have at least 8 liters of water and a tool on hand, do not light in windy conditions, never leave unattended, and extinguish until cold to the touch. The prohibition covers all BC parks, Crown and private lands, but does not apply within the boundaries of local governments that have wildfire protection bylaws and are serviced by a fire department. Now, anyone found burning during the prohibition may be fined $345, and if that fire creates a wildfire, they may be held responsible for all firefighting costs. Now, if you'd like to report a wildfire or unattended campfire, you can call 1-800-663-5555 or dial *5555 on your cell phone. For more information on open fire restrictions or for updates on current wildfire activity, you can visit their website at bcwildfire.ca.
Thank you, Allison.
You're
Very
welcome.
important, and it seems like we're off to a hot summer already, so
It could be one of those.
It could
You
be
gotta
one of
be
those
careful
years.
when you're out there for sure.
certainly. Well, Jonas Gagnon, Observer reporter, wrote a story in Friday's Observer about a new initiative starting this summer that will see volunteers help to ease the conflict between humans and bears while contributing to the community at the same time. Every year we hear of bears venturing into populated areas, hoping to fatten up for winter on fruit from backyard fruit trees. Judy Anderson, one of the drivers behind the new initiative, got the idea when she saw a magazine article about a group doing a similar thing in Toronto. The group picks fruit from backyards around Toronto, gives 1/3 to the grower, keeps 1/3, and gives 1/3 to charity. Anderson is currently looking for growers or anyone with some sort of fruit tree in their yard which they have no desire to pick. She said, "We will come ahead of time to check, and the grower can contact us again when it's ready, and we'll come back. If you have a tree that you don't plan on harvesting, you can contact the harvesters at Two Rivers Sharevester@gmail.com or call 250-255-4093, which is on your screen. Harvesters will bring everything needed to get the fruit, and Anderson is hoping to donate the fruits of the pickers' labor to schools and food banks.
I think that sounds like an awesome idea.
I think it's great.
Because there are a lot of people out there. I mean, yes, a lot of people take care of their fruit trees and they, want to have the fruit from it, but a lot of people just let it fall to the ground, and that's where you sometimes end up with this conflict between people and wildlife. So
Yeah.
I think that's great idea, and the fact that some of the charities and schools would be benefiting from that is even better.
Yeah.
All right, well, summer is coming, and as you start to make plans, be sure to include Quesnel Skyfest, which is coming up on August the 3rd and 4th. Featured in this year's lineup are the famous Canadian Forces Snowbirds, as well as the Canadian Forces F-18 demo team. They'll also feature a contingent of top civilian aerobatic performers, and some of your favorite performers from last year's show will be back again this year. There'll be lots to see and enjoy, so plan on booking that long weekend in August and see for yourself why this year's show will be one of the largest air shows anywhere in the world. Now we've got some other Skyfest news for you. The Drive for Your Community fundraiser at Caribou Ford recently put 117 test drivers behind the wheel and added $2,340 to the Skyfest fundraising efforts. Airshow star Super Dave, who will be performing at this year's show, dropped in after flying over the event, signed some autographs, toured Caribou Ford, and met some of the staff. For more information and pictures, you can check out their website at www.quesnelskyfest.ca or follow them on Facebook and Twitter.
It's going to be a great show this year.
I can't wait to go, and I'm excited because I want to go with my dad, and he's a real buff when it comes to old planes and things like that, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, the snowbirds.
Yeah.
The snowbirds.
That's big. That's really big for little old Quesnel.
I know.
It's
I can't
awesome.
believe it. It's great.
Yeah.
Moving on into sports, the last couple of observers have featured pictures of the Gold Pane City Derby girls in action recently at their Rainbow Rumble. The team welcomed Derby women from across the province to their season opener at the Twin Arenas, where high action and intense play were the order of the evening. 4 teams were formed and they scrimmaged all night in front of an enthusiastic home crowd. Sounds like a lot of fun. Stay tuned for more Derby events coming up.
I had to miss that one, so I can't wait for the next one because I just love watching it. It's so fun. All right, Susan McNeil is back in her segment on home-based businesses, and this time she speaks with Marilyn Lorenzo, who works with fabric. Her business, Field of Dreams, takes alpaca wool and creates beauty. Let's have a look.
Hello, Quesnel. It's Susan McNeil here once again with the Home-Based Business segment. We are introducing Marilyn Lorenzo today, and Marilyn, glad to have you here.
Glad to be here.
So Marilyn comes to us with a business called Field of Dreams, and it is offering alpaca products.
Yes, alpaca
So
products.
on your business card it says offering everything to keep you warm and cozy for those Canadian winters. So
Yes.
Marilyn, can you tell us a little bit about some of the wares that you've brought here today?
Well, I just brought a sampling today, so people have an idea because they have misconceptions about alpaca clothing, I think. And this is basically all high-end product. Some of this product is mine. The shawls and the scarves and the socks are from my animals.
And I'm quite taken aback, as I said earlier when we were chatting, that there are many kinds of alpaca, but I didn't realize that there was so many different products that are made and locally here, and the socks with all the different colors was quite a surprise to me.
Well, they're not made locally. I shear my animals, and they're shipped off to Alberta, and it's done in Alberta.
But the animals are local.
Oh, my animals
But your
are
animals
local,
are local,
yes.
yeah, okay.
You can come and see them anytime.
Okay, so could you tell us the difference? We were talking earlier about the difference between the two little critters
the
you have
critters
over
here.
there. And
Yes,
could
this-
you just show us?
This is made from Huacaya alpacas, which is the ones I have. They're the big fluffy alpacas. And this is made from the Surrey alpacas, and they have ringlets. It doesn't show here, so I take it they have taken it from the inside of the fiber.
So quite a different feel.
Yes, a very different feel.
Yes.
Yeah, this is so silky, and this is just so soft.
And do they wash?
Yes, they do. They wash beautifully. They're hand wash. You can also dry clean them, but they're hand washable and hang to dry or lay to dry.
Okay.
And they will last forever, generations, if they're looked after.
So some of your sweaters are absolutely beautiful. Now I was taken aback by this lovely coat.
Yes,
And,
and this is
if you just sort of tell us a little bit about this
Okay.
jacket, it's just fabulous.
It's not fur, it's fiber. And it's made from this one here, the Surrey alpaca. And the Surrey alpaca is the more expensive
hold that for you.
alpaca. The fiber is the best, just absolutely the best. Alpacas are known for their warmth and their strength in their fiber, so they last generations if well looked after.
Gosh. This is just a beautiful coat, The lines on
Yes.
it are gorgeous. Now, you did say before that it does come in various colors.
Yes, it comes in black, which I have to pre-order, and
Okay.
also a fawn color. Also a long coat. The long coat's to die for.
I bet. Oh my goodness. Well, that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned something before about the socks being good for diabetics. Could you just
Yes.
elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, they've got a nice cushioning on inside, and it's all terry inside. Like on the foot, this part of the foot is all terry. And because they're hypoallergenic and alpaca's extremely soft, one of the softest in the world next to cashmere. You can
Oh
see
my.
it's all terry inside.
Oh, isn't that nice?
And any nylon that they have in the sock for reinforcement is on the outside of the sock.
Oh, okay.
So
that's good
yeah.
to know.
So,
Okay.
yes, and they're hand wash and hang or lay to dry. They're
Great.
a beautiful sock. They really are, and they last forever.
So, Marilyn, tell us, how would we get in touch with you? Now that we know you're here and you've got all these beautiful products, I'm sure our viewing community would love to hear how we can get in touch with you.
You can phone me at 250-249-5423, or you can email me at fieldofdreams@explorenet.com.
Okay, and just out of curiosity, do you have a Facebook page?
No,
Okay.
I do not. No.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, Quennell, something new to me and hopefully new to you, and you'll want to come and have a look at some of Marilyn's products. So, Marilyn, thank you again for coming. It's just been awesome to have you on the show today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Great, and we'll see you again, Sherry.
Okay, you bet.
Okay, bye, Quennell.
And now for our special election coverage. Each candidate will answer 4 questions, which you can see on the screen. They have a total of 4 minutes to answer these questions. In alphabetical order, we'll have Duncan Barnett of the NDP, Coralee Oakes of the Liberal Party, and Bob Simpson, Independent.
All right.
I'm running for the NDP because I believe it's time for a change. Change for the better, one practical step at a time. I believe we need to see some change in our economy and jobs, in education, in healthcare, and in things in Cariboo North like infrastructure. We need a Quennell bypass. We need 3-phase power to Wells and Nasco, a new high school, maybe a multi-center, and certainly affordable housing. But you know, there's one issue that overrides all the others, and that's poverty and inequality. We have the highest rate of child poverty in Canada. That's simply unacceptable. And we have the largest gap between rich and poor. Why do we have that situation in a province with the wealth of natural resources and hardworking people that we're blessed with? The fundamental difference between the BC Liberals and an NDP government is this. The Liberals believe that you create a strong economy by cutting government services, cutting taxes, and investing in big business. We think that model has failed. The NDP believes that you build a strong economy and a healthy society by investing in people. We start with early child care and learning, investing in education, skills, trades, and training, so that people have the skills to get the jobs in agriculture, forestry, mining, tourism, oil and gas, or high-tech jobs and film. We believe that people are our #1 resource, and if you invest in people, they will be innovative, creative, and productive members of society, and they will build a strong economy. I believe I'm the right candidate for the job of MLA for Cariboo North because of my background and experience. For the past 20 years, I've worked in the region in all of our natural resource sectors, from the bunkhouse to the boardroom. I've done consulting work on land use planning and treaty negotiations. I've been a Caribou Regional District Director for 10 years. That's where I learned the importance of spending taxpayer dollars wisely and being part of a team. My wife and I live on the Horsefly Road in a house I helped build as a teenager 40 years ago. We have a ranching business, and I earn my living ranching and logging. I've got dirt under my fingernails, and I want to work for you as part of an NDP team to deliver results for Caribou North. The choice in this election is clear. Change for the better or more of the same. I choose change for the better, one practical step at a time. The NDP platform is clearly laid out on our website at qcatv.ca/plan. We say what we will do and how we'll pay for it, so you can hold us accountable. If you like what you see in our platform, the way to make sure it gets implemented in Caribou North is to elect an NDP MLA. On May 14th, please vote for Duncan Barnett.
Hi, I'm Coralee Oakes, your Caribou North candidate for today's BC Liberals. The Oakes family has lived in this riding for 4 generations, and it's been my experience of growing up here, being a 4th generation family member, my experience on City Council for 6 years, and 14 years with the Chamber of Commerce that's really led me to step up to be part of what I believe is the most critical piece and issue facing our riding, and that is, how do we diversify our economy? We recognize that we are one of the most forest-dependent ridings in British Columbia. And the question that I'm getting when I'm knocking on the doors and talking to people is what's next? How, as a community, as a riding, do we diversify? Where are the jobs going to be, so that we make sure we retain our families here in our community and that we attract investment? And I strongly will be a champion for how do we support small business, how do we support agriculture, tourism, green technology, and I believe that mining has a very critical component to what is next to produce those jobs to keep our families in our community. And a critical component to how we achieve this, in my opinion, is to be providing the skills and trades training right here in our region. And we need to be working with all levels of government, including First Nations, to achieve these goals. I also believe that we need to ensure that we're supporting our aging demographic. We can do this by providing preventative support that helps keep seniors healthy and living independently longer in their homes. I will address these issues if elected by, first of all, focusing on how we get that next steps in the expansion of the trades and skills training facilities at both CNC and TRU. I'll also be a really strong advocate for apprenticeship bridging programs in high schools, so that students in high school can start getting credits and taking courses that will work towards their apprenticeship when they go into post-secondary education. I believe we've got some excellent pilots in our region that we need to be growing. And we also need to look at how we can expand our Quesnel Junior Secondary, because I think that's a critical piece in making sure we've got educational facilities that support those future jobs. We need to help small business, and I believe one of the steps we can do that is by having the mobile business license. So it just makes it a little bit easier for small businesses so that they can work, whether it's Quesnel or Williams Lake or even 100 Mile. We need to investigate how we can use the rural dividend that was announced in the BC Liberals platform to assist our region in transition, the transition work that is necessary, but also to look at investments that we need in our roads, in 3-phase power expansion, in broadband and cellular infrastructure. I believe I'm the best candidate for the challenges that are currently facing our region because of my experience both as a longtime resident of the community, somebody that's had experience on city council, but above all, that I've spent my entire professional career looking at economic development, looking at business retention and attraction. And I think when you're looking at a candidate to be your next MLA, I believe that's going to be a critical component to how we achieve diversification in our economy. I also believe for this particular riding that we need to make sure that you're electing an MLA that has strong relationships with the federal government, the local government, the regional districts, and First Nations, because we all need to be working in the same direction to make sure we get real results here for Cariboo North. I'm Coralee Oakes, and I'm asking for your vote. I'm asking for your vote because I believe that we have a bright future, and we want to make sure we're retaining our families here in our riding. And you can vote on May 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th in advance polls from 8 to 8, or you can vote for Coralee Oakes on May 14th.
I believe that seniors care is the major challenge facing our region in the future. Quesnel has seen a significant increase in the seniors population, and I see more and more seniors-related issues in my constituency office. Seniors' concerns about affordability, about the level of home care that's provided to them, about increases in MSP premiums, and the whole desire to be able to age at home in their own community with the supports that they need. The second major issue is, of course, our timber supply. It's still an unresolved issue for us. We still don't know what the long-term timber supply is for our area and how we're going to continue to feed our traditional sawmilling and our plywood plant in the Quesnel area. I would continue to fight for more affordable housing options for seniors in the entire Cariboo North region. I would also like to see an end of MSP premiums for seniors. I think that after the age of 65, people should not have to continue to pay MSP premiums. And I'd like to see more health services relisted under MSP for seniors so that they have the quality of life that they need to continue to live at home and continue to be active members of our community. On the timber supply front, I believe that the government needs to take advantage of the fact that we have this increase in the lumber prices in the United States to help our industry really understand what the long-term timber supply implications are. But I would also like us to move into the 21st century and create a whole new timber industry that's based on biodigesting, fossil fuel substitution. I have 8 years as the MLA for Cariboo North, the last 2.5 of those years as an independent. And I find that being an independent MLA has freed me up from the partisan politics that characterizes BC politics and allowed me to find more constructive and more productive relationships with bureaucrats, those in our region and those in Victoria. That allows me to solve problems for my constituents in a more productive way. I can actually get to the heart of the issue because it's not being politicized. I also find that I can raise provincial issues to a much higher degree because I'm not involved in politicizing the issue. I'm trying to get a resolution to the issue, like the Pacific Carbon Trust, which has taken $52 million from classrooms and hospitals and given it to the private sector. I've been able to raise that issue to such a high level that the NDP is now committing to dismantle that trust. And I was also able to work with the government, the opposition, and industry stakeholders to prevent the Liberal government from changing our forest tenure system without the social license to do so. Your vote does matter, and your vote does count. Don't let anyone, including yourself, convince you otherwise. In the 2005 election, on election night, Charlie Wise won Caribou South with 1 vote. In the 2009 election, Vicky Huntington became the first independent MLA elected to the BC legislature since the 1940s with 32 vote difference. Every vote counts, and it's important for our democracy that you choose the candidate that best represents your interests and then show up at the ballot box, mark a ballot for that candidate, and exercise your responsibility as a citizen. I hope you'll engage in this election. I hope you'll look at every candidate's website, their Facebook site, actually come to our offices and talk to us, and make an informed choice on May 14th, because our democracy depends on informed citizens engaging in the political process. And I hope you'll give me a chance to be re-elected, this time as an independent MLA, so I can provide you with better representation without the muzzle of a political party, and effective representation that a parliamentarian can give you where a politician may not.
All right, thanks to John and Shaw Cable for letting us use that footage of the coverage here at Q Today, and hopefully that will help to let you be able to make an informed decision. So get out and vote on May the 14th. Remember, if you don't vote,
you don't have a say.
That's right.
And this this election has some important issues, as we've learned, and it's a very tight race.
Yeah,
So
it should be a good
every
one.
vote will count.
That's right. All right, Dave Sutton is back with us again, and this past weekend he was out and about doing lots of different activities. So let's take a look at some of the photos that he took for Sutton's Shutters.
All right, now let's check out what's happening locally with our community calendar.
And as always, thanks to the Quesnel Lions Club for helping to make our show possible. Their next garage sale is Saturday, May the 25th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Maple Park Mall. And their Mother's Day pancake breakfast is May the 12th on the Lions housing lot, which is at the corner of Reed Street and McNaughton. So be sure to come out and support them for that.
Okay, and one last reminder, for every Sunday in May, you can head out to the Australian Ranch, where you can enjoy some very delicious cinnamon buns and some coffee. And that's being put on by Bob and Lenore Yorston. They do this every year, apparently. They sell cinnamon buns in May. And this year it's special. The proceeds are going to the Quesnel Lions Housing Society. So it's a great initiative as it is, but now even more so, come and help the Lions with our senior housing projects. So
that's fantastic, and that's every Sunday in May?
Every Sunday in May.
At the Australian Ranch south of town. So be sure and support them out there too.
And that brings us to the end of our show. We want to hear from you with your story and your comments on our show. Whatever you think is important, we think is important. So email us at qtoday@shaw.ca with your story, or ask us to cover a story you know the community would just love to know more about.
You bet. Remember,
Q Today is about
Quesnel talking to Quesnel. Bye for now.
Q Today.